Hey everyone. This is Avin Savani with the Savani Sports podcast. In today's video, we're just going to be giving a quick update on the Phillies and kind of their season as it's kind of progressed. So they're going into now the second half of the season, or the second quarter, I would say. And it's not been looking too hot, but there are some positive signs, but overall, like the team is struggling from their pitching staff and as well as producing runs. I think that's the biggest hurdle that's kind of been going on, but hopefully this mic is working. Yeah, I think it's working. Yeah, so why don't we just go through and also just play like highlights in the background so you guys can get a sense of like how uh their players are performing and overall where our team stacks up against the best teams in the league right now. So I'm just gonna share my screen here. But yeah, so today they played a pretty easy opponent in the Washington Nationals. The previous series they got swept by the Mets. So not a good sign, especially with a division rival. You'd like to see them get like one or two. But yeah, so today was a pretty positive day. Schwarber kind of produced two 3-run home runs, so a bunch of RBIs for him. And Casty has been fantastic in the month of May as well as the start of June. So those are all positive signs. Trey Turner continues to struggle. Stott is also kind of like slowing up a little bit, but he's not that bad. And Harper is also kind of just getting used to the program in a sense. And I think once he starts to get first base action, those were their plans to start him at first base. I think he'll kind of become more of a well-rounded player overall. Obviously, his most production comes in the later half of the season when things like really matter and we really need him to produce. So he's one of those clutch guys where um, you just got to trust him. Like he's the captain of the team, and there's no way that we could be this good of a team without him. So yeah, as you see, Real Muto also kind of broke out of a slump there with a home run, so that was good to see. Um, let's see, Casty getting some hits, positive signs. Harper, I think it was just a pop out. Um, Overall, the team played really well today. They scored a bunch of runs. It was kind of a good sign from the day before where they got a bunch of hits, but they really couldn't drive in those runs. So runners in scoring position continues to be a struggle for the team. I think one game against the Mets, they failed to get a runner to second base, and that was like the first time that happened in like a really long time. So um we'll also just review the stats of the team just to see how they're progressing. You see Schwarber's 3-run jack there. Um Stotter's got a sac fly there. Cody Clemens is also a very underrated player. I think he's definitely proved himself to be a solid rotation kind of first baseman. I don't know how the situation is going to work with Harper, but he seems definitely like our long-term first baseman for sure. I don't know what they're going to do with Derek Hall coming back from the injured list, but we'll see. The new guy, I think his last name is Ellis. I don't can't recall his first name. But let's just look at the box score so we can tell about this. But yeah, so they're definitely trying different lineups. Like they put Turner in the 4 spot, which is just like I don't know. So I mean, it's you can tell Thompson's getting a little bit nervous, I would say. They had the similar start last year, but obviously he wasn't in the managerial head position there. But they had a similar start last year, but they turned it around once he took the ropes. But overall, um, I just thought that this was a positive sign, just a well-rounded game. Albeit against a really bad team, but I think that if you can replicate this same level, I mean, it's not going to be the same level, but same type of production from all the guys that stepped up. Also getting like Turner, oh, Drew Ellis, that's his name. So this is a new guy. Seems like he got called up from AAA or something like that. Um, but yeah, so he's new. He's starting at third baseman. He's rotating with Sosa. Um, so I don't mind him. He definitely showed up today. Two home runs today for him. So hell of a game for him. So that's great. But overall, the one positive sign that I kind of took out of this was I was just looking at the standings, and we only have played 24 home games. So obviously we're a better team at home. That's been the record for us. I think like 14 and 10 at home. So once we get some more home games, I think we'll start to improve our record and also the teams that we're going to be playing against. So yeah, 14 and 10 at home. So that's the least amount of home games played by pretty much anyone in the league right now. You can add up these totals. I mean, nobody has 24 home games. I mean, yeah. So we're literally, maybe Toronto's got 25, but we're literally, we haven't had any home games. Like it's been kind of dry at home. So I think later half of the season we're gonna get a lot more home games. We're gonna get some solid crowd noise behind our back at CBP, and I think it's gonna be a rocking kind of tail half of the season. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what we haven't had. We've had some really long stretches of away trips, and that definitely showed. So like 13 and 22 on the road. That's never like the easiest situation. So really excited for them to kind of get back home and see where we can um perform against some of these teams. So if we just go to the schedule here, that's what I'm doing right now. We'll see who exactly is ahead in our test. So we got the Tigers at home, we got the Dodgers at home for a 6-game homestand. We got Diamondbacks 4-game road trip with them, and then the A's 3-game road trip. So Diamondbacks are a solid team this year. So that's gonna be tough. So I'd be happy if we get two out of four on that. And then the A's are the A's. So I think still positive signs on the road trip there. On the homestand, Tigers are not that good. I think we'll do good against them. And then the Dodgers, I think we'll have a solid homestand against them. They did sweep us when we went to LA though. So hopefully we can get some payback there. We got the Braves, Mets at home. Again, hopefully we can get some payback against the Mets. We got the Cubs on the road. Cubs are not that good. We got the Nationals coming up next after that. So yeah, I'd like to see the tougher teams play us at home rather than us go on the road and uh kind of go up against that kind of tough task. But yeah, you see you got the Rays on the road. I don't want to say sweet there, but that's not a good sign. So yeah. Um what else? Bunch of home games. Wow, bunch of home games in August. So That's great. Blue Jays on the road for just a 2-game kind of drive by. But yeah, I mean, this is great. I think we have some relatively good competition at home. Actually not really. Some of these teams are really bad. I just want to like just verify because maybe maybe I might be wrong about some of these teams. But okay, the Twins are solid. Twins are a really good team. Um, but let's see, Giants, Cardinals. It's still early in the season. You can't really judge right now about like whether a team's got like playoff potential and could make a deep run, but um Texas is obviously a really good team. 38-20. Wow, that's a solid start. Um San Francisco Giants, average. Cardinals, subpar. Angels, they are average. So a bunch of average teams, honestly, on this homestand. Kansas City Royals, garbage. Holy crap. Kansas City, what is going on? Yikes. Looks like the World Series days are over. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, our team is like we're still structured well. I think we got good signs out of Suarez today. Pitching, I think it was like 7 or 8 innings and allowing 1 run. So really good sign for that. And I think once we get our 2 guys still struggling, Wheeler and Nola, but I think once we get those guys kind of revving the engine a little bit and starting to get more oomph in their pitching. I think we'll get on track. So our rotation is obviously going to be uh, Nola, Wheeler, Taiwan Walker, Suarez, and then the fifth guy. I mean, hopefully you didn't see that start by Covey, but no disrespect to Covey, but that was just a rough first inning for him against the Braves. But I mean, overall, we need to get a solid fifth guy. So whether that's calling up Painter from AAA, or maybe just getting some good production from Bailey Falter. I don't know if he's on the injured list. Let's just double check. Let's see who all the guys are on the injured list. Let's go to 40 man. And let's see. So we got Alvarado on 15-day IL. We got Noah Song. He's on the 40 man for a 60-day IL. We got Bohm on a 10-day IL. Derek Hall on a 60-day IL. Reese Hoskins, I don't even think he's playing this year. Pache on a 10-day IL. So Falter has he got demoted to AAA? Oh wow, I didn't even know that. Wow, so we demoted him to AAA. So that just like leaves a big huge question mark for our 5 guy, especially with Chris Sanchez in minors as well. But wow, okay. So Strom is probably our 5th guy, honestly. So Strom is also struggling here and there, but he's had some positive signs with a few good starts. So yeah, I mean our depth guys, our bullpen guys, Dominguez, obviously Alvarado's out right now, but Dominguez, Brogdon has definitely struggled. He let up that easy run in the 8th inning, go ahead run. So Brogdon has had his struggles. Dominguez has had his struggles here and there. Even Kimbrel at times has kind of had his struggles, but he's been solid for a closer spot. Other guys, Soto also struggled a bit here and there. But yeah, I mean, pitching has been one of our huge weaknesses this year. Another thing, obviously, runners in scoring position. We'll show that stat later on. But yeah, that's kind of been the story this year. I know we're only like I don't know how many games, 29, 59 games in. So I mean, still got 3/4 of the season left. a little under 3/4, but we're just gonna check out these stats real quick. So we'll go by team because we don't like to. I mean, we can call out the guys who are really doing well, but we really need to see overall team performance. So as far as hitting, yeah, I mean, we're still a decent hitting team. On base percentage plus slugging percentage, top 11. So we're in the 11th spot there. As far as hits, we do get a decent amount of hits, but can we score off those hits? That's another question. So let's just see where we're at as far as hits. So yeah, top 10 at the 10 spot in amount of hits, and then the run total is lagging. So run total, we're at bottom at the 23 spot for total runs. As far as homers, I feel like we've picked up a little bit. I mean, 18 spot for home runs. Ribbies, we're at 23 for ribbies, based on balls, which are walks. We got bottom half again. Strikeouts. All right, huge spot here. So we're at number 7 for strikeouts. Not a good sign. So that's that. And then batting average, we are top 11, so that's good. On base percentage, we are top 16 average. And then slugging, we are top 11 again. So that's for hitting. And then obviously we can single out some guys who are really doing well. So as far as runs go, who's in the top? Casty's got our spot there. As far as hits, Stott and Marsh were off to a fantastic start, but Marsh has definitely digressed. Stott is still top 10 in hits. Casty has now reached top 5 in hits. So I'm really happy for Casty. Castellanos has really bounced back from last year. I know getting on that big contract with a new team, pressure's on a little bit. So that's understandable. But to have this kind of bounce back is a really positive sign. So I'm happy for that. As far as homers go, obviously Schwarber's going to be there, tied for the 6th spot. And then we got, I think that's it. Okay, so homers, only Schwarber. Schwarber's our Schwarbomb. So bunch more Schwarbombs to come. But yeah, as far as ribbies, Bohm was our main guy for RBIs. Nobody else has really cracked that list. And that's a really bad sign, just given our history this season with runners in scoring position. It hasn't been good. So yeah. And then strikeouts, we'll probably see a lot more of our guys here. Schwarber, top 3 there. Turner, also in the top 20. And I'm not too sure about the next guys. Marsh is there. Castellanos is there. So we got a few guys struggling for strikeouts. But as far as batting average, wow. So Castilla is now broken the top 10 for batting average. So that's a great sign. Nobody else on our team is really on that list. As far as on base percentage, as you can tell, like the last video I made, I think it was like a month ago, Marsh was literally like top of the list. So he hasn't had the best past month. So hopefully Marsh can kind of turn it around, because he was really a bright spot in our lineup, and he was pretty much producing when he was on the field. So yeah. As far as on base percentage, Marsh is still there at the 21 spot, but yeah, big decline for our guy, but he's a positive guy. He keeps a really good attitude. He always has those post game, especially after a win, those post game uh uh daycare situations where him and Stott kind of go up to the guy who performed well and put a bunch of bubble gum, some water, and a bunch of other stuff, and just have a good time. So it's good to see our clubhouse just like connect a little bit, you know. We got some new guys in our lineup this year, so it's good to see that connection, and that chemistry is definitely gonna go a long ways, especially if we make the postseason. So yeah, that was the hitting stats there. As far as pitching goes, uh nobody's even in this list as far as ERA. We let up a lot of runs. It's not a very good thing, so we're not going to be on that list. But yeah. Anyways, as far as hits go, who has let up the most hits? Our guys are not on that list, so that's good. We're on the next page there. So Wheeler and Nola are in top 30 of hits allowed. As far as runs, Nola is there. These are all bad stats, by the way. So if you're not watching this on the YouTube channel and you're just listening in on the podcast, all the pitching stats, as far as hits, runs, base on balls, home runs, all of that, when it's a pitcher's perspective, and I'm just talking about it, if we're in the top whatever category for those things that I just mentioned, that's a bad sign. So yeah, so we are still in the top 30 for hits. We are still in the top 10 or close to top 20 for runs. Nola is in that category. Earned runs, which is another sign. So we got Nola and Taiwan Walker in the top 20 for that. As far as home runs go, we got Nola in the 12th spot. Base on balls pretty much has a huge effect on the whip. Taiwan Walker is in the 21 spot. And yeah, so that's that. And then the whip, actually, let's go to strikeouts. So this is one positive stat, the strikeouts. So Zach Wheeler is number 16 for that, so that's a good sign. Whip, I don't even think we're on this. Nola breaks the top 25 for whip. But yeah, as far as batting average now, we're not even in the top 25 for that. Now let me reverse that, and I'll show you the people with the worst batting average. So we're not in the top 25 for that, so that's a positive sign. As far as whip, we are not in the top 25 for that. So I feel like we've improved pitching. I think before in our last video, we saw a bunch of these stats, bunch of pitchers in these categories. And I'm also just going to look at our team stats just to verify that. But we saw a bunch of guys like in these categories, but definitely our later half of the rotation, we've seen Nola, Wheeler, Taiwan Walker improve slightly. So that's a good sign. Suarez is also now in the mix, so he's adding good depth. But other guys like Covey, Falter, Strom at times, and Sanchez even sometimes. We've seen some guys struggle, kind of fill that 4 or 5 spot in our pitching rotation. And so as we go to our team stats for pitching, we'll see that as far as ERA goes, we are bottom half of the league, so not a good sign there. As far as saves, that's kind of highlighting our bullpen, but middle pack there. Hits, we are top 15, not a good sign. We'd like to see us get in the bottom top 10, which is like good for amount of hits. As far as runs, we are top 10, not a good sign. Earned runs, same situation probably. Yep, top 10 at the 8 spot for that. Home runs, we are bottom half there, so that's a good sign, not allowing too many home runs. So what is this? Hits, batsman, who cares about that? Base on balls, so amount of walks that we allow, bottom half, good sign. Strikeouts, all right, so this is a positive. Yes, okay. So we break the 13 spot for strikeouts, still not bad. We got a guy, we got a bunch of guys with some absolutely filthy pitching packages. So with the combination of Nola, Wheeler, even Taiwan Walker, we get a bunch of strikeouts. So strikeouts are not too much of a concern. Now these are the 2 stats that will affect our overall performance as far as pitching. So whip, which is walks and hits in innings pitched, we are 17 spots, so pretty average as far as whip. And then batting average, we are bottom half. So there you go. Batting average and whip, not still the best. So we can definitely improve on that, and hopefully we get some more consistency with our rotation, and we can clean that up. So that's just a quick stat overview. But yeah, overall, like I'm not like that down on our team. Just I feel like a lot of people got down like this week after the sweep from the Mets, and then losing like to the Nationals that first game. But I still think that we have that firepower, especially in our batting lineup, as well as our pitching staff at times, to still kind of give glimpses of that World Series team that was literally clicking on all cylinders. Our team had fantastic chemistry, and we were literally just going into games with a we're gonna win this mindset, you know. So that's kind of like the motto that we need to bring to every game, whether it's regular season or playoffs. I hope that Thompson does make his adjustments. He's obviously been kind of testing out different lineups. And I'll show you the lineup actually from today's game, which was a bit shocking. And actually he did the same lineup the last game, but yeah, so he had Schwarber lead off. He had Castellanos in the 2 spot, Harper, then Turner in the cleanup spot, Stott, Real Muto, Marsh, Clemens, Ellis. Now, the normal lineup, which we've seen most of the time, is either Stott or Turner in the leadoff spot, and then going like back to back. And then we have Castellanos in the 3 spot, Harper for Real Muto, or Schwarber in the 5 spot, in the 6 spot, right? And then Bohm, like obviously once he comes back in the 7 spot, then Marsh, then whoever is at the other position. So whether that's Sosa at third base, or whether that's our DH guy, or actually Bryce is our DH, but whoever is in the outfield. So whether that's Guthrie, whether that's Clemens. Oh, I forgot about Clemens too at first base. So Clemens is usually in the lineup. So he probably takes the 8 or 9 spot there. But yeah, so that's been the lineup, the most common lineup. But now we see Thompson kind of experimenting with different ways, and I think like our guys are like good at baseball. Like we have guys with a bunch of bat power and who can literally light up pitchers, you know. But it's a matter of just finding that like sweet spot. Whether it's like lineup tweaks here and there or just adjusting, maybe watching more film of pitchers, or I know they prepare like really well, but it's just a matter of clicking and getting those runs in. That's the biggest struggle that we've had is runners in scoring position. So if we can figure that out, I think we'll be back on top for sure. I don't know if we'll reach Atlanta at the top spot, but I think we'll definitely be a wild card team. So yeah, positive signs for the Phillies. So hopefully we can definitely rebound in this second quarter of the season, and I'll probably make a video halfway through the season. So probably when we reach 80 games or 81 games, and that's when I'll probably make an update video and kind of see where we're at. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Look forward to that next Phillies video. Also stay tuned for more videos on the podcast. Going to be talking about Sixers as well as the Union as well. A little bit of the Union. I know I'm not too active with the Union, but they definitely had a big bounce back to the season this year, and now they're threatening for the number 1 seed in the conference. So excited for that team, especially from the heartbreaker last year, losing to LAFC. I think they'll definitely have some motivation to get back there. So that, and then also a video with the Sixers. So Sixers are going into an off season where they have a lot of questions. They recently hired Nick Nurse as their head coach. So we'll see the effect on the lineup, the guys that they bring in, the guys that they let go, and overall that reaction which I failed to make after that game 7. And I know that was a tough reaction to make, especially after game 6 and game 7, the way we lost against the Celtics. But apologize for not following up on that. But as you can tell, it's kind of a tough situation for our team. But yeah. So thanks guys for tuning in. And hopefully you guys have a great day, and hopefully you guys follow the Phillies. If you don't, follow your team, whoever it may be. I wish you the best of luck, whoever team that you're a fan of, and just love the game of baseball. So just trying to share that expertise as well as joy with you. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a great day, and enjoy the summertime.